What if the only thing standing between you and your purpose was your own permission slip? Well, hey everyone, this is the Heather Frierson Show, and I'm Heather. And today we're closing out our 6-day challenge with one powerful truth. You have permission to go, to move, to dream, to be. So let's talk about what it looks like to boldly step into the next season without waiting for someone else to validate you. This episode is all about activation. The time for sitting on the sidelines is over. You are called, you are equipped, and most of all, you are needed. All right, well, let's first talk fashion. So, if you made it this far in the series, the 6th episode of Pivot into Purpose, then I want to give you a gift no matter when you found this show or when you listened. So, my gift to you for making it this far in the challenge is 30% off the entire store on everything. That's right. I want to give you 30% off everything, not just the feature of the week, which you may have missed if you found this challenge late in the game. You may have missed all the things that I highlighted in the previous shows because maybe you found us a year later. So I don't want you to miss out on anything from the shop. And so because you made it this far, you're going to get 30% off whatever is in the store right now while you're listening. All you have to do is type in the word pivot at checkout and you'll automatically get 30% off your entire purchase. So go do it right now, or maybe wait till after the show and go get your discount with the code pivot for 30% off your purchase. Okay, for today's style tip, I just want to share a little bit about what I'm feeling these days. I'm taking a cue from our friend Taylor Swift and her Eras tour and really feel like as I'm stepping into this new decade, which I can't even believe I'm saying that, I feel like I'm stepping into my soft era, as you can see from my lovely pink that's on. Just soft in general, really, not just clothes, but in life. And if you know me, you know I love all black. And that's probably not going to change, really. I don't like florals. I don't like big prints. So when I say soft era, I really mean more flowy, possible, maybe some softer colors. I'm really not quite sure yet, but I know that my style is shifting and I'm feeling like it's going to be a little bit softer than it has been in the past. So I can still be a boss babe, and so can you, and be soft. And really, that's just kind of what my style tip is today. I'm feeling like I'm stepping into this new feminine era, and I want to embrace it in this new decade I'm walking into pretty soon. So, what era are you walking into? Maybe that's the style tip we should end with. Think about it. As you enter into this new season, whatever it is, finishing this challenge, what is your style era? All right, so let's dive in. So, you've heard the phrase before, I'm sure, that you can't pour from an empty cup, right? And yet, there are so many of us that keep trying. We're showing up to serve in our families, our churches, our businesses, but we're doing it on fumes. I know I've done that before. I'll give you a story. Just a few days ago, I was really busy in the house. We were packing up some things and just organizing a lot of things in the house. And it was go, go, go. And at the end of the evening, about 7:30, I'd already taken a shower. I had my PJs on, and my youngest daughter, Hope, really wanted me to sit right next to her on the floor where she had the hot glue gun set up while she glued something together. And I really just couldn't do it. I knew that she wanted me to, and I could tell she was getting sad. And I just said, Hope, mommy's tired. I've organized all day. I'm really spent. I just have nothing left. I really want to go lay down. And so she said, okay, but it was very obvious when I saw her a little while later that she was mad at me. And I felt guilty. I had that mom guilt, even though I spend so much time with her. I really do. And if you guys know me personally, you know my little Hopi is by my side so much. But I just couldn't do it at that moment. I was exhausted. And I just had to share how I was feeling. I had an empty cup. There was nothing left for me to give. I needed to recharge. And so the truth is, I apologized to her for the next day, but explained again, I had nothing left to give. But we did spend many hours the next day together. It was a Saturday, luckily, and we played games, we snuggled and watched TV, and she was all good. But my point is, sometimes you just have to say no so you can recharge and be a better version of yourself. And so today, I want to just give you permission to flip the script. Rest is not a reward for finishing your to do list. It's a strategy for staying aligned with your purpose and showing up well for the people in your life, too. I was able to show up well and even better the next day because I was able to just get away alone for about an hour before bed and recharge. So I want to give you an example out of Exodus chapter 18, 13 through 18, NIV. I'm going to read it to you. So let me find it for you. It says, this is talking about Moses. He had just let the people of Israel out they were in the desert. And so they were traveling to the promised land. That took 40 years. But at one point, his father-in-law, Jethro, joined him. And so his father says this, starting in verse 13 in the NIV. Now, the next day, Moses sat to judge the disputes the people had with one another. And the people stood around Moses from dawn till dusk. When Moses' father in law saw everything that he was doing for the people, he said, "What is this that you are doing for the people? Why are you sitting alone as judge with all the people standing around you from dawn to dusk?" Moses said to his father in law, "Because the people come to me to ask about the will of God. When they have a dispute, they come to me and judge between a man and his neighbor, and I make known the statutes of God and his laws." Well, starting in verse 17, Moses' father in law said to him, "The thing that you are doing is not good. You will certainly wear out both yourself and these people who are with you, because the task is too heavy for you to bear. You cannot do it alone." And so, if the story goes on, if you know, and maybe you don't, that Moses or Jethro tells Moses to select leaders and distribute his responsibilities and leave the real hard cases for Moses to judge, but to really divide amongst his leaders the people of Israel so that he wouldn't carry it all alone. And I remember the first time I heard this years ago. It's when I started leading my nonprofit, Creative Women, and I was doing a lot alone. And I'm not saying I ever did it perfectly because I still probably took on way too much, but I remember it hitting me really hard. Moses' father in law really helped him set up leaders to take on the task that he was doing himself. And so often we say no to help, or we don't even ask for help. And just like Moses was running on empty, we find ourselves running on empty too. Moses was called to be a leader, he was anointed and appointed by God, but he was running himself ragged, trying to do all the things for all the people. And for me, I find myself in that place so often. And I'm sure you've been there too, feeling like we can't slow down, that if we do slow down or step back, that things will just fall apart. But Jethro, his father in law, wasn't criticizing Moses' calling, he was actually confronting his capacity. So when we see this same truth even modeled by Jesus, that even though when Jesus walked the earth as a human, he preached, he healed, he discipled, he still withdrew often to quiet places. We see that so many times in scripture, how Jesus withdrew by himself. He didn't hustle, he walked. He led from a place of fullness because he stayed connected to the Father. And I believe he also took serious the Sabbath and withdrew. As women living out our purpose, and men, if you're listening, it's easy to believe that the hustle can equal holy, but it really doesn't. Or that hustle can equal faithful. But what I want to do is remind you today that boundaries aren't selfish; they're sacred. God kept boundaries. He kept boundaries with his rest, his Sabbath, his inner circle. He kept boundaries it's so that he could serve from a place of fullness. So, as we enter this last day of the Pivot into Purpose Challenge, I want to share something, that a scripture that I just hold dearly to my heart so often. I remember when I heard it for the first time, the Message version, it really stuck with me so big. And it's this. It comes from Matthew 11:28 through 30, and it says, "Are you tired, worn out, burn out on religion? Come to me, get away with me, and you'll recover your life. I'll show you how to take a real rest. Walk with me, work with me, and watch how I do it. Learn the unforced rhythms of grace. I won't lay anything heavy or ill fitting on you. Keep company with me, and you'll learn to live freely and lightly. So, here are my three takeaways from our 6th day of this challenge, Pivot into Purpose. Number one, rest is not quitting, it's obedience. God commanded rest, not suggested it. Taking a Sabbath is one of the 10 commandments, as I'm sure you know, just like do not kill. It's not an option or a suggestion, it's a commandment. Number two, boundaries are holy. Jesus set them. Moses needed to set them, and so do we. And number three, fullness is fuel for impact. You really do serve best when your soul is well fed and rested. So if you're worn out or overwhelmed or on the verge of burnout, maybe the most spiritual thing you can do today is rest. Okay, so as we wrap up the challenge today, here's my encouragement and challenge to you. What is one boundary you need to set this week that protects your time, energy, or peace? Set it, keep it, and honor it like it's holy. Don't take it lightly. This is your strategy to maintain your fullness and be ready to serve from a place of fullness. Then ask yourself, once you decide on that, what is one bold step you can take from that place of rest? I think it's going to be really strategic in helping you get ready for the next season you're about to step in. It doesn't have to be big, it doesn't have to be on a big platform. It just has to be obedient, and you can do it scared too. Just do it anyway. You don't need more clarity sometimes. Sometimes you just need more rest to get more understanding and even clarity around what your next step is. And as always, I want to hear about your go moment. So feel free to DM me on Instagram and share with me what boundary you set this week or what breakthrough you had or what your bold yes was. I want to continue to cheer you on as you pivot into purpose. Also, I don't want you to forget about this challenge at all. After this show ends, I don't want you to forget how this challenge spoke to you. So if you haven't downloaded the free ebook I have on the website yet, go do that now, or you can go get the paperback on Amazon. So go to heatherfrierson.net for the free download, or go to Amazon and look for Pivot into Purpose by Heather Frierson, and you can actually get a booklet that you can write in and take with you wherever you go. And don't forget about your discount for the whole shop with discount code PIVOT for 30% off. All right, well, before we go and finish this challenge up, I want to leave you with a charge that I think really wraps up this 6-day challenge. And it's this: you have permission to go. Not when it's perfect, not when it's easy, but now. You are equipped, you're called, and you are created for something extraordinary. Just like it says in the final page of your Pivot into Purpose guide, the world is waiting on you to rise up, take your place, and make the impact only you can make. So as we leave here today, I can't wait to see what God has for you next. And I'm cheering for you, and just want to leave you again with that final scripture that is one of my favorites from the message. And that's for you to remember Matthew 11:28-30. Walk with me, work with me, watch how I do it. Learn the unforced rhythms of grace. You don't have to hustle for what's already yours. His presence is your promise. All right, friends. Well, that's it for this challenge. Thanks for joining me. And until the next challenge, don't do anything unless it's fun. Bye.